Hey everybody, Superfluous Jay here with another Factorio for beginners, and I've thrown a bunch of junk into the research queue. The first piece of junk is not junk at all; it's the stack inserter, which we'll be talking about very soon because it's a critical part of trains, getting trains to work really well. We've also thrown braking force, which is going to help my trains go faster. Because they can stop faster, so they can get closer to intersections before having to stop, which is nice. Lab research speed, it's always good to just research those whenever they're available. We're researching, amusingly, we're researching laser turret damage, and then we're also just throwing laser turrets in there too. I'll talk about those eventually as well. Follower robot count, I've researched that before, and another braking force, just to fill out the tech tree. Once we get stack inserters, well, eventually I'll talk about those as well, but we'll see how quickly that research happens. Before we talk about more with trains though, today I want to talk about better furnaces. We have ability to make electric furnaces and steel furnaces. These things, if you look at them, they actually doesn't say how quickly they craft. Oh yeah, this one says crafting speed 2. This guy has crafting speed 2. The stone furnace has a crafting speed of 1, so both of these two furnaces craft at the exact, craft twice as fast as a stone furnace, which is super convenient. It means that they go twice as fast, and which is awesome. Which will be nice when we start really utilizing these things. So I want to convert one of these stacks to steel furnaces just to show them to you. We're not going to use them extensively because we're actually going to be using electric furnaces. The nice thing about electric furnaces, the reason there's a difference is steel furnaces still take coal. So you can actually slap, if I make a steel furnace here, just make one really quick, I can just plop it down right over this guy, and now he's running twice as fast. Now, of course, this stack here is made specifically to make one perfect yellow belt. So if I was to replace all of these with steel furnaces, that would double the speed of this belt, and I would need to either make it half the size or replace these belts with red belts, which is what I'm going to do. So we're gonna make a bunch of steel furnaces, and I'm gonna make them by hand, and I'm never gonna make them again, just to show them to you. We need steel plates and stone bricks. We got neither. So let's pick up a bunch of bricks. And let's pick up a bunch of steel plates. And then we're going to need, I think it's 48 of these things, or 47 really, because we've already crafted one. Let me make sure of that. If I do this, and then I can look and see how many we have. We have 47 stone furnaces there. I just hit escape to clear that because I don't really care. So we need to make 47. We can only make 34. So let's go ahead and make all 34 of those, and we need more steel plates. 34, 35, 36. Now we need stone bricks. 37, and then 5, 10. That's perfect. That should be exactly 47. So I'm going to make those in my inventory, and while I'm making those, I'm going to replace these all the stuff here with red belts. So I'm putting red on my thing here, and I'm just gonna write over these. You can upgrade yellow belts to red belts just by walking over them and placing them down, which is very convenient. It's nice. You just have to make sure you cover the whole thing, because you can't always tell if you put down red belts. Like it doesn't really look any different. If you look right at the center between the coal and the ore here, you can see that this is yellow and this is red. But other than that, you can't actually tell at all. So you got to watch out for that. So I'm going to lay this down here. Just finished our inserters, which is nice. I also want to replace all this stuff. I want to replace this. I want to replace this. All of these. Actually, never mind. These don't need to be replaced now that I think about it. Coal doesn't need to be replaced because you never use as much coal as you do anything else. So I can leave the coal the same way. But I want to replace this line. Like this. And also this inserter. And probably this inserter. And then everything from here, because we need to make sure that stuff is coming down the line fast enough. I think I'm going to leave it at that for the time being. And look how much faster things are running down the line here. But then it's going to back up because there's still a yellow belt here. And we don't need all this malarkey with this. But I do want to... Actually, I'm going to make this a red belt like this. We're going to run the red belt all the way to here. And then as soon as we get to here, I'm going to stop it. We're just going to put red splitters here. And then now he can distribute his stuff onto these yellow belts from the red belts. I think maybe I'll run these. Just to give him more of a chance to split things. So now we've actually just doubled our iron production here by laying these down. Now obviously it's not laid down yet because I haven't laid the furnaces down, so let me do that. Run all the way up here and we can just run down this line. And also I'm doing this without actually needing it, so we're not running out of iron in the factory or anything. And we also now we're making more iron than our iron mines can produce, which is something that you just have to accept. We are very quickly getting to the point where this iron mine isn't cutting it. We actually don't need any red belts over here because of the fact that they are they're not full. Like this one isn't even full. This one isn't full. None of the three of them are full. So if I change one of these to a red belt, it would just be a non-full red belt instead of a non-full yellow belt. So that's that. But that's steel furnaces. If we do get to the point where we're using up the iron fast enough, you'll see that right away that's getting used. What I want though is now that I know about those, what I really want to use is electric furnaces. And the reason I want to do that is because I'm going to be mining this ore here, and then I'm going to smelt it on site into plates, and then I'm going to bring the plates back. The reason for that is actually, well, here actually you can see this ore. And iron ore is the same way, but I've got stone in my inventory. But all the ores stack to 50. All the plates stack to 100. So you can fit twice as many plates in a train than you can the ore that makes that plate. So that makes the train twice as efficient if we smelt on site. But we would have to take coal out there, which would suck because then we're having a train go back and forth taking coal out there every once in a while. If we switch to electric furnaces, we can do all the smelting without taking any coal. And we like that. We like efficiency that way. So that's those guys. Let me check really quick. Ooh, do I want to talk about inserters yet? No, I want to talk about trains. Trains are fun. Let's hop in our train here, and let's put him on manual mode. Whenever you click the arrow button to go to a station, he goes into automatic mode. And if he's in automatic mode, I'm hitting the go forward and go backward keys. They're not doing anything. So if I click him into manual mode, then I can actually drive this guy and send him out. Now we want him to go off this way, so we need to we need to hit Q on this thing here to set up a train line. Find one of the arrows, and you don't want an arrow going this way because you can't send that this way. It has to go off this way. So to get rid of that, you have to hit Q and then Q again to pick up a train track. So I want the arrow going this way, and I want to head off this way with the train. Oops, looks like I went a little bit too far. Let me back up a little, and then now we're going straight. And I want this guy to go off this way, but I haven't gone far enough yet. So let me go a little bit farther, then I should be able to do that. And now I can extend this line out this way. Now there's a stupid tree in the way, so let me hop out, chop that tree down. Actually, let me throw some grenades at it. There we go. And I'm actually going to start over here so that we can get these lines together. And then it's just run and find more junk in the way. Which happens a lot in the game. So what I think I'm going to do here, I don't think I have to get rid of that rock, but I do need to get rid of some of these trees. So I'm just going to run up here, and I think this tree might be in the way as well. It looks like those trees might not be in the way, which would be super convenient. But then now I've got the train here. I'm going to back up just a little bit so I can see this track, and then we can just place the track as we're driving. And then boom, we stop there. And we're about halfway to where we want to be. So I'm going to need more grenades. Look at that. Okay, stealth edit. It's been quite a while. It's been almost a day since I recorded last. So I don't know what I was doing. But I was making this train line. I do remember doing that. So let's just... Oops, made my train stop. Let's go right to here. And we're actually getting pretty close to the iron patch. So I think I'm going to stop the train line right there as we figure out where we're going to put this station. There is water over here, and I don't know if that water continues or if it's just a little lake. And I'd kind of like to know that. But let's go ahead and clear off this patch here. Get all the trees out from around it so we can kind of see how big it is. Looking pretty good. The trees tend to not grow on the patch anyway, but they still do a little bit grow on the patch. You know what? I don't care enough to go explore over there. Let's plan. Here's the plan. We're going to get the ore off of here. We're going to send it over here, and this is where we're going to smelt it. And then we're going to send it up here, and then this is where the train station is going to be. So what we want to do here is clear off some space here. And I'm kind of... The big idea, oops, is that this is going to be a train line. This is going to eventually be a train line that has more than just this iron train on it. For right now, it's just going to have the iron train on it. But it's going to eventually have other trains on it. So what I want to do is I want to take the train off this line and then build a station down here somewhere that the train can park in. And I want to give it a decent amount of room. And I actually think, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to come back here a little bit. So we're gonna curve off this station, or off the train line here. And we're just gonna make a very simple station. Let's make it right here. That's a lot like the other station. And I'm going to actually go back over here, and I'm going to copy this station. We're just going to do from here to here, just this right here, because this is a perfect thing. You can rotate your blueprints. I'm pretty sure I've done that before, but I'm just hitting the R key to rotate. And then I can place this blueprint right here, so that the train's going to come down this way, and then stop here, and then come out this way and leave back out the way it came. It looks like this rock is perfectly in the way here. But then I can take this train line, and right now all I want to do is run it back the way it came. But we could eventually then spawn these off the other direction. Whoop. But boom, we've got this here. Oh, we need a station here as well. Oops, I can't reach it. There we go, and we're going to name this one. This is Drop Iron. Actually, the copy remembered the name of the station, which was kind of amusing. But we're going to say this is Pick Iron Plates. Okay, so now we go up to our train here, and we'll have to back up. We have to back up all the way to the beginning of this guy. But then we can say, add a station, pick iron plates, and then go to it. And now he has two stations on his route. Now watch, he's going to actually drive right through it and head back to where he came from, because he has these two stations. If I can click on the engine here, and he just went through that one. And there's no wait condition. So he's coming here to pick up iron plates, and he's like, oh, I'm done. There's nothing to wait for. Let's go and drop off iron plates. So what I want to do is I want to add a wait condition for cargo full. Which is amusing that maybe I have to exit out for it to... Yeah, I had to exit out apparently to for that to count. It hadn't saved. So now he's waiting for these two train cars to be full. Similarly, at drop iron plates, I want to add a wait condition for empty cargo. So he's going to go to drop his iron plates off, wait there until they're empty, and then pick them up. And then that's it. now we have a train that goes between the two stations. Now I also want a train for myself. So, and oh, did you see that? I don't know if I did that before. I think I did when I was placing them before. But you can hit R to rotate a train, and if I put it like this, oh, it doesn't let me do it. Okay, never mind. It's like when it's off, it's just going to do that, but it's red. Now on here, I can say which way it goes. And another neat thing is I can, while it's on the tracks, I can hit R to rotate it that way as well. So while I'm out and about, if I'm in my own personal train, I can just flip it around really easily. I'm going to take, let's just take 5 of the fuel out of this guy, put him in him. And then I'm going to take this, send this guy back home. But I'm going to add the drop iron plate station. I'm going to add a condition here for circuit condition. I'm not going to set this to anything. It's going to wait until the circuit condition of nothing is less than 0, which never happens. So he's going to wait there forever until I tell him what to do. That's something you can do with your own personal train. Is you can set a circuit condition that won't get met, and then it'll be fine. Now the last thing I want to do, because now I have 2 trains on this route, we could be in trouble. If I try to send the other train back here, he's going to just come in here and plow into this guy and cause no end of trouble. So that's where signals come in. Signals, if you put a signal on the track, this is actually a bad place to put a signal. Let's put a signal here. And then we're also going to, you have to have at least 2 of them. What this signal here means is that somewhere in front of him, before we get to the next signal, there's a train. He means the same thing, because way over here, there's a train. So what we want to do is we want to put these signals in different locations here. We want to put a signal here, and we actually want to put a signal here as well. If you look here, this track is one way, because there's only a signal on one side. This track here is 2 ways, because there's a signal on each side of the track. This way we can't go because there's a train there, because there's a train that way, and there's no other signals telling us. This signal coming from this way, it's saying, hey, it's okay to come out, to come this way, because the only 2 ways you can go is this way or this way, and there's no train between these signals and this guy. And that's basically it with signals. You want to make sure though that any one-way track you have, like this is a one-way track. The only way you're gonna ever be on this track here is if you're going around this way, and the only way you're gonna be on this track is if you're leaving it, and the only way you're gonna be on this track is if you're coming on. So the only trains that could be on this track are coming from this way. So we want to put a signal in here to tell the game that this is a one-way track. Then we also want to put a signal here to tell the game that this is a one-way track going this way. And then we want to put a signal here telling the game that this is a one-way track going this way. And then we want a signal here and here breaking this up. So if you see here, when I have a signal in my eye or in my hand, you see these different colors. These are track segments. The colors themselves don't mean anything, but they tell you that this is one section of track. This is one section of track. And these signals here, this green one, what this green one is saying is there's no train in this section of track. This one's saying there's no train in this section of track. This one's saying there is a train in this section of track. And that's pretty much it for signals, the easy version. This one here is saying that there's no trains in either of these 2 sections. Now he can't go this way actually, so he's saying that there's no train in this section. But well, I shouldn't say that. There's no train in this red area. So if a train was here, he would actually turn red. Even though he can't go that way, he would still turn red in case the train was like up really far up here. He could crash into him coming this way. Now if I were to go here, and our trains are never going to be more than 3 long, so I could actually put a signal here and a signal here. Now he turned green because he's saying you can go this way because there's no train in this section. He's saying you can't go this way because there's a train out there. So I would need to do something similar to this over there. And that's as far as we're going to go. The other signals, you saw that I picked up chain signals. I'm not going to cover those yet because we only have these 2 trains and only one of them is big enough to really care all that much. But what we can do here is we can tell, if I go into map mode, I can come over to this guy and tell him, hey, go to drop off iron plates. Now he's going to go, if I get out of map mode here, he's going to come all the way up here. He's going to be totally fine coming through here and coming through here, but he's going to stop at this signal because this guy is already here. That's basically the important thing. Now I can go into this guy and tell him, go into manual mode, and then tell him to, oh, I guess I can't do that. Go into manual mode, drive forward just a little bit, and then tell him to go to drop off iron plates. He's going to go around, but then he's going to stop here too. Now that guy's going to go back because his cargo is empty, allowing this train to come here. That all happened automatically. I didn't do anything to make that happen. That's how trains work. That's literally how they work. how they don't fail every time, because you can constantly have trains waiting for each other to go in and out of these signals. Now I'm going to go into manual mode because I want to make sure I don't forget to do this. And I'm going to head all the way back. Now I can manually drive through here without causing any trouble with the thing. I held the right arrow key to make sure that I stopped, or to make sure I turned, I should say. And then I want to put signals here. I'll put one here. Well, I'll do basically the same thing I did the other one. Right at these corners, I'll put a signal here, and I'll put a signal here, and then I want a signal up here to turn, 3 signals, I guess, up here to turn this into 3 blocks. And I'll put one right here, and then I'll put these guys here, and then these guys here. That way, this is its own little section, and so he can come all the way up to here and wait for somebody to go by, and then exit out into the main track. And same thing here. I want a signal, but I want the signal on this side because I want cars to come in this way. But then I want the double-sided ones here, so that this is a 2-way track. This is a 1-way track, and now this is red because my train is here. So I can go into my train and I can tell my train, hey, go back to drop off iron plates. And he's not going to be able to because he's there. So we're going to tell him, hey, you go drop off iron plates. And as soon as he passes this line, my car's going to pull up to it. Then he's going to pull up to this one. And as long as that other train, now he's stopping here because there's this long section here with no signals on it. So he was waiting for this guy to get out of this section here. Now he's heading back to where he was, and my train is back at its station and is totally happy. So what we can do here is where we have these, like this 2 signals that are exactly 3 train cars apart, we could actually do those all the way down, and that would have allowed this train to creep its way along behind the other train. That way you can have multiple trains on the same track at the same time. I will be doing that eventually, but I'm not going to worry about it right now because right now we don't have too much to worry about. Except some biters. We got biters up here and we got biters up here. And I think we're going to call this episode to a close, but we are going to have to deal with those biters. And we have a really high robot count now. And we can get through here without crashing into these pipes. And we also are getting pretty low on our research, and we need new things to kill the bad guys with. One of those new things we have is laser turrets, which I'm not gonna worry about them at the moment. But I want to do poison capsules and slowdown capsules and the combat shotgun. So we're gonna start researching that next time. I'm actually gonna take Breaking Force off and throw it at the end so that we can get Military 3 next time and then go out and blow up some of those other biter bases. But that, as I said, is next time. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm Superfluous Jay, and I will, as always, talk at you later.